Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. Hopefully everybody's doing okay out there. And going to be talking about what everybody chases, okay? What everybody is after, and that is a happy marriage or happy relationship. As most people know, to me, it doesn't matter if you are married, you live together, don't live together. I want you happy. If you're in a relationship, I want you happy. I don't want you miserable. So a lot of people look at, what it takes to make a happy marriage, a happy relationship. Even I do, professionally speaking. And let's face it, even personal as well at home, right? So it is different for a lot of people out there, but research is sort of flipping the script a little bit, and it has, over the last couple of years, research has flipped the script a little bit about what it is that keeps and maintains a happy relationship, okay? And I'm going to go over those right after the intro, so don't go anywhere. And I want you to get your questions ready as well for the Art of Relationship show. Q&A coming up right after the intro. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to the Art of Relationship show. Hey, Erica, what's up? Woohoo! I appreciate you tuning in as well. And like always, you can join in down below. Throw your comments, your questions down in the chat, okay? And I will read them, and I'll leave you anonymous unless you give me permission to use your name. I want to respect your privacy, even though, let's face it, this format, I can't guarantee your privacy or, being anonymous at all, but I'll do my best to respect that, okay? And for most people, I'm going to let you know I'm Greg Dudzinski. I'm a fully licensed professional counselor, relationship, and sex specialist. Have been for over, 23 years now, 23 and a half years, I think now. And a lot of grief, a lot of trauma experience as well, people, okay? My passion has always been trying to help people out. I'm not fake. I don't blow smoke up people's booties like a lot of people do in this environment, okay? Hey, Blaze, what's happening? So a lot of people will look at, they will tell their clients what they want to hear, and might lie to them, might blow smoke up their butt. And that is not going to help them at all. I'm all about being honest. Hey, Blaze, I'm glad you're good. So I'm all about people being open and honest and compassionate and caring. But that doesn't mean you lie. That's not going to help anyone. And, your clients like you and you keep coming back. But is it really serving a purpose for why your clients are there? So I'm honest, I'm legit. Am I perfect? No, I'm not perfect. So anyways, let's get on with it. We're talking about a happy marriage, right? Everybody talks about a happy marriage. You have to be in love. You have to be, love that person, all that stuff, right? I think for the most part, we want that, right? But what happens if it ebbs and flows throughout the years, right? There's going to be days where you're not in love. You're going to be, maybe you feel you don't even love that person that day. So a lot of people look at, well, that means the relationship or marriage should end. Not necessarily, okay? So there's a lot of factors that come in, and a lot of people will look at, what is happening, what is going on, and the divorce rate. Everybody, you hear 50% divorce rate. No, it's closer to in between 35 and 38%, at least here in the United States. There's other factors that people look at and maybe statisticians look at that are not actually accurate, and they take out of account, maybe a person has multiple divorce rate. That comes into play as well, but you have to look at the whole picture. And it's been the last probably 12 years now, maybe 15. It's been hovering right around 35, 38%, not the 50%, at least in the United States. that people try to quantify. That's wrong. The 50% is way too high. So we look at the situation, what keeps a happy marriage and a happy relationship. And everybody, we have to be in love. Are you going to be in love all the time? No, like I said a few minutes ago, it's nearly impossible to feel that in love, intense feeling that you did when you first started, dating or moved in together, whatever. When you start realizing and living with one another, those annoyances are going to come out and they might drive you nuts. I did a post, check it out on Facebook, and even down through the feeds on other social media, I did a post, maybe a week, 2 weeks ago about what annoys you in your partner, right? Not only that, what if you ask your partner, what do you do that annoys your partner? Okay. So you have to look at what is going on and what happens with that situation. Okay. And a lot of people will look at, oh my God, they annoy the hell out of me. So, that in love feeling, you're not living together. You don't see each other every day, or maybe you do, but you're not around each other, 24/7. Right. And we look at, hey, and, Cyclone, I appreciate the props, man. So when we look at that situation, and all of a sudden, our fantasy world, if you will, gets blown up, right? At the beginning, maybe the sex is great, everything's great, you love each other, your farts smell like frickin' chocolate or strawberries, that type of stuff with each other. And then the reality hits, and you're looking at, oh my God, do I even like this person anymore? And a lot of people prematurely look at, oh, I'm not happy, we can't be happy, and you prematurely end a marriage or end a relationship. Now, I'm not going to say, like I've said many, many times before, some marriages need to end. Some relationships need to, they need to cease if they're toxic, if they're unhealthy. We look at compatibility aspects, right? So you look at the things that a lot of people look at that a happy marriage comes in. You have to have fantastic sex 100% of the time. You have to, be in love 100% of the time. You have to love that person 24/7 for 40, 50 years. And research is substantiating that is not the case for a lot of people. And I think a lot of people, they panic and they don't look at the factual evidence of a happy, healthy relationship or marriage. And that's what I'm talking about now. What are some things that you view as necessities for a happy marriage, whatever? Number one, I think a lot of people look at trust, right? You might not be fully in love with a person, but it's behaviors, right? As people look at, to me, and I've said this for, God, over 23 years, right? I'm huge on feelings, okay? I'm huge on feelings, but research is substantiating, right? Feelings come and go. They ebb and flow. Now, when I say it's crucial about feelings. You have to look at, let's face it, what your partner is feeling, what your partner is thinking, right? And based on impulsivity, right? Your feelings. I feel like my partner doesn't hate me or doesn't like me, so I'm going to be done. But that feeling might be inaccurate. Maybe it's true, but what do you do with that? So a lot of people look at when those feelings come about, the feelings of not feeling desired, not feeling loved, not feeling appreciated. They're important. I'm not going to say they're not. But it's what you do with that to try to fix them and settle them. Okay? So when you're looking at, the importance of feelings, I'm huge on feelings, okay? Huge on feelings and purpose. I'm also on realistic aspects about behaviors, right? And what they're, trying to switch away from is, shifting from how you feel to more about how do you treat each other? How are you as a partner? How are you, as a wife, a husband, girlfriend, boyfriend, that type of thing? What behaviors are you doing that initiate what a partnership and what a happy marriage is all about? And as people know, I'm huge on feelings, I'm huge on behaviors, right? You could have a person, a behavior, right? I love you. But does that person automatically believe it? Or is it real? Is it fake? Is it just out of obligation you're stating it? So feelings are crucial in my point. But research is substantiating that, it's more important about the behaviors and certain things that you do to make your partner feel connected, make them feel like you two are a partner, and that you're present with each other. So, trust is huge, right? If you don't trust somebody, you don't trust your partner, it's going to be crucial. And no matter what, right? Chances are you're not going to have a happy relationship. You can last a long time, right? A lot of people assume because people been together for 40 years, 30 years, 20 years. I've dealt with couples that have been together 57 years, people, literally over the years. So a lot of people will look at and assume because the couple's been together, oh, they're happy. No, they're not. They might be. I want them to be, absolutely. But longevity does not equal, right, being happy. And a happy and a healthy marriage or a happy, healthy relationship. So I look at, what do you do to instill trust with your partner? That you have each other's backs. And there's so many different areas of trust, right? There's people that are in consensual, non-monogamous relationships, right? They're not monogamous with each other, right? They have an agreement, but they still have that emotional trust that they're not going to step outside those boundaries, and they've been together 30, 40 years and are happy. So a lot of people look at this aspect, but trust is deeper than, just cheating, which is huge, right? Don't do it. But it is about trust along with boundaries, okay? That a lot of people signify what a happy relationship and what a happy marriage is. That they have trust and they respect each other's boundaries. Those are huge. I talk about this during the first session with new couples I work with. What are the issues? What are your boundaries? What are, what's going on in place with you two that has maybe breached trust, that has maybe cut across your boundaries with each other? Some people don't have established boundaries about their own identity, how they're talked to, that their partner talks to them a certain way, okay? And they don't like it, but they're afraid to start an argument. And they don't want to, cause an argument, hurt their other partner's feelings. So what do? They eat it, and then it explodes later on, right? So when you look at trust and boundaries, they sort of go hand in hand. But when you also look at trust, I mentioned, cheating, everyone jumps to that. But do you trust your partner to be there for you? Do you trust your partner emotionally, mentally? We talked about cheating, but do you trust your partner is going to be there for you compassionately, with empathy? Do you trust your partner is going to have your back? Where say his family, her family will talk smack about the other one, and they know it, everybody knows it. But their partner won't say anything to them. They won't say, Mom, knock it off. Dad, that's rude. You need to stop. You're not going to talk to my wife that way. You're not going to talk to my husband that way, boyfriend, girlfriend. I run into this often, people. So when you look at those aspects, and that is a trust. I don't trust you're going to have my back. Now, if they did something that's wrong, you call them out in private, okay? But they trust that you're not going to embarrass them in front of other people. You're not going to belittle them you're not going to degrade them with other people. So that's what I mean about trust along with boundaries, right? You know your partner, or hopefully you will know your partner enough, and you'll learn what they don't like. You know, some people don't like, what do I want to say, being publicized all that much, right? They don't want their business out in the general public. So, some people, I heard this on the radio coming in, that one person, I guess Olympic athlete, I don't know if it was Dutch or whatever, admitted he cheated on his girlfriend couple weeks before the Olympics. And not only that, he's on public social media, in the news. Oh, I'm so sorry, I shouldn't have cheated, da-da-da-da-da. But not only that, he didn't respect her boundaries because he knew she didn't like to be in public. She was private. She was all this. So not only did he cheat on her, he further disrespected her by going public with this. So that's what I mean about, you know, do you know that person and being able to respect their boundaries and what's important for them. Now, you can have, when you put that in place and you respect each other's boundaries, that's awesome. And you practice maintaining those boundaries. You trust that the other one is not going to cross those boundaries. That is a huge component that makes a happy marriage or a happy relationship, people. And a lot of people will look at, you know, we have to have passion. We have to have that. There's some people that don't have that much passion, and they're happy. They signify the happy relationship and marriage based on the behaviors that are in place that both people need in a marriage and a relationship, okay? So when you look at that in-love feeling, I'm honest, it's going to ebb and flow. It is going to. Do you want it there sometimes? More times than not? Yes. But again, like I said, research is looking at that it's more important about the behaviors, the gestures you do within the marriage, within the relationship that signify and sort of prove, correlate to a happy marriage, a happy relationship, okay? So, and it's another thing, you know, so what are you doing to instill trust? What are you doing to understand and learn each other's boundaries and, you know, that you're not going to cross them? You know, your partner doesn't like when you speed through a yellow light. You know, that might be your partner's boundaries to feel safe, but yet you do it anyways. And we know we do stuff not intentionally, right? So do we take that more important, that is more important to our partner, and I want them to feel safe. So when you know and you make them feel, and actually not only feel, they know they're important to you, that also instills evidence for a happy relationship and a happy marriage, okay? When you don't have those, chances are the marriage and relationship will not last, okay? And I want to talk about codependence, right? And part of codependence, everybody looks at, and there's books out there, Codependent, No More, all this aspect, right? Every relationship, to a point, is codependent. The difference between healthy codependence and unhealthy codependence, right? There's a big difference. And I've said this before. I'm going to be honest. Every relationship is codependent, right? Remember I said you trust, you have each other's backs? But a lot of people look at codependence. Another term that most people look at instead of codependence is interdependence, right? It's not really that much of a difference between codependent in a healthy way versus being independent or interdependent with one another, right? Codependent, right? When you're sick, you might, realize you're going to help your partner out, right? You might bring him or her soup. You might cook them dinner. You might, hold their hair. I have no hair, but hold their hair if they're puking in the toilet. You get me? So you have that And you look at a child and a parent, codependent relationship, it's unhealthy if it becomes enmeshed, right? And I'm going to get further into this aspect. Another key indicator about that interdependence or the healthy codependence in a marriage or relationship that signify having a happy, healthy marriage or relationship, you need to be able to look at also part of that is balancing that interdependence with your own identity. What research has also found is that when a person loses their own identity, okay, aka unhealthy codependency, they're codependent on each other, but they only have one unified body, the relationship. They don't have each other. They don't have their own, they don't have their own identity. They don't have their own sense of self. That is the unhealthy codependence, right? And research have substantiated that when people lose their sense of self, they lose their sense of identity, they become unhappy, depression sort of sets in, anxiety kicks up even more, and you start feeling worthless. You start feeling blah. You start feeling like you have no purpose anymore because you've given away your sense of self, okay? So please, like and share this on your timeline, on your page, people. I want to help as many people out. And again, throw your comments down below, people. I'd love to hear your, comments and, what you have to say. So when you're looking at a happy, healthy marriage, you're looking at what behaviors do you do to instill trust and to instill each other's boundaries. Not only that, but what does a healthy codependence look like? Or some professionals, people are going to learn, use the term interdependence. To me, it's the same thing, but I look at, like I said, the difference between unhealthy versus healthy codependence. And part of that is that interdependence, you still have your own identity. So what does that mean? Once you start dating somebody, do you automatically get rid of your friends? Do you get rid of family members? You get me? Do you all of a sudden stop your hobbies, something you're passionate about? If you're on a bowling league, maybe you're in the art classes, dance classes, pickleball, right? Whatever your thing is, animal rescues, right? That you totally give up that part for that new person, and then resentment starts settling in. You start selling yourself out and you lose your identity, and that has a tendency to destroy marriages and relationships. Why is that? What brought two people together, right? It could be attraction, physical attraction, let's be honest. It could be the way you make each other feel. Maybe it's the way you laugh with one another, right? You joke around and that grabs your attention. Oh, I thought they were a nice person, whatever it was, right? And then you start finding out about that person and it draws more interest. You get me? Oh my God, they do this, they do that, they're into this, they're into that. And once all those things are gone, evaporated, what starts happening? You have less to talk about, less to communicate about, and not only that, you lose your identity. You forget who you are anymore. You become passionless. And how many people are attracted to a lot of people that have no passion? They have no passion for anything. Well, I'm passionate about what he likes. I'm passionate about what she likes. Well, what do you like? What are you in for? Well, you told me you used to love reading. When was the last time you read something before? Well, I haven't had time. I did this. And a lot of people do everything what their partner does. How many people have been there, right? But they don't do what they like doing. They lose that. And it becomes stagnant. And then the partner starts losing respect for them because they lost their identity. They start looking at them, who are you anymore? Almost like they become so unhealthy, codependent-wise, on them that they're relating their whole identity is surrounded on that other person. And it creates a lot of pressure and it creates a lot of weight on the other partner and also the relationship and marriage as a whole. And that's why maintaining your own sense of self and identity is so crucial. You know, do you still hang out with friends once in a while? Do you still do your hobby? Now, there's a difference, right? A give and take, right? Maybe you did your hobby 5 nights a week, and in a relationship or marriage, you're going to cut that down a bit, right? It's interdependency. It's the healthy codependency that you reach that balance. And again, what your balance and what your boundaries are and how much time is needed with one another. And not only how much time, what does quality time mean for both of you, right? So keeping your own identity is crucial. Now, I tell people, if you're an a-hole, we don't want that identity, right? Let's be honest. If you're narcissistic, if you're selfish, if you're a psychopath, we don't want that identity, right? Let's be honest, right? So what do? Okay? Other key indicators, and we're talking about behaviors, and these behaviors instill how your partner feels for the most part, right? That keeps that happiness, that content feeling, right? And I'm going to get into boredom in a bit, right? And not only, keeping your own identity, you're also looking at, being a good listener. How many people are actually good listeners? Let's see it. Show below, people. I want to hear the comments down below, people. How many people are actually good listeners? And a good listener is not listening to respond. They're not listening to rebuttal, to disagree. Some people, yeah, I heard you, but I want to talk. There's an ebb and flow and a give and take. How often do you interrupt your partner when they're speaking? How often? That's not a good listener. Are you able to, at least maybe not word for word, but are you able to get the gist of what your partner is saying? And if they ask you, hey, do you get me? Do you understand what I just said? Yeah, I do. Well, what did I just say? You get me? Being a good listener is not being easily distracted. Our phones, right? I'm guilty. We're all guilty of our phones, right? So we look at those type of situations, and what do you do to be present? Remember I said earlier about being present with your partner is important, right? Being there. So a good listener is not easily distracted from what you are saying. But also, and I said this about talking with one another and what communication looks like. You can check that out on YouTube as well, at LoveGuruGreg. All my episodes are on there, the easiest way to find them. But a good listener is able to pay attention and be present. Not on their phones. They actually be there. But going back to what I was saying about also is about grabbing your partner's attention first so they can listen, so they are able to be present, right? Some people start talking, they get mad at the you're not even listening to me, and they're like, huh, what? Because you didn't grab their attention first, which makes you feel they're not present, you're not important, a priority. Remember about the actions we're talking about, the behaviors needed, and what correlates to a happy marriage, a happy relationship, okay? So, being a good listener is huge. What about patience? They have found patience is so crucial with one another, right? Like I said about the impulsivity, right? You get in an argument, I'm done. I hate, we should never argue. That means we're done. We have an unhealthy marriage, unhealthy relationship. We need to break up. We need to, right? No. That just means you had a disagreement and maybe you could have handled it differently. That's it, right? You have an argument. That doesn't mean you have an unhealthy, unhappy marriage. there are people out there, right? The fantasy aspects, right? Oh, for us to be happy and to be soulmates for one another, we never can argue. That's unrealistic. It's great if you don't. But that also leaves me to wonder, are you able to talk about the stuff that are difficult? Again, I'm also going to ask, going back to, if you don't disagree that much, or maybe once in a great while have an argument. I don't want you to have an argument. That's not what I'm saying. Are you really maintaining your sense of self? Are you promoting your own identity? Are you promoting self-love and self-respect? Or are you just agreeing to agree? Or did you lose your identity? You get me? So patience is like understanding when there's emotional upset. You're mad at each other. You're hurt by each other. That you don't have patience to be, oh, we shouldn't be together, like I just mentioned. And all of a sudden, you're able to have patience. Hey, you know what? We'll fix this. We'll settle this down. Patience to self-soothe and with one another. And what does patience mean? Do you listen? Your partner says something you don't like. But do you have patience to even ask, hey, why do you feel that way? What are you thinking? Why are you thinking? Or you lose your patience in a snap because of how you feel, right? And you allow those feelings to overwhelm you. And again, I feel it this way, and we want to get rid of those feelings. So if I feel a certain way, that means we're not happy, we don't love each other. No. You have a right to feel. I said that at the beginning. Absolutely. It's what you do with those feelings that matters. So when you look at this situation, what are you doing to instill and practice and put in place these behaviors that correlate to a happy marriage and relationship, you two? What are you doing? What are you doing to instill trust? What are you doing to also understand your own personal boundaries, but also your partner's boundaries? And what are you doing to abide by them, to respect them, right? So what behaviors are you practicing to show your partner that you respect them, that you're trustworthy, and that you have healthy boundaries for yourself, and you also understand their boundaries? What are you doing to maintain your own identity? And again, what your identity means is subjective. Everybody has different sense of identities, just like quality time. One person wants quality time once a week, 1 hour a week. The other one wants 50 hours a week alone. It's balancing, but again, you look at what works for both of you, and you're also looking at compromising, right? Are you compromising your sense of self, which isn't healthy? That's part of the codependent part. Or, are you able to compromise and live with the situation? It's a give and take. Happy marriages, relationships are about give and take. Are your behaviors showing your partner you're selfish? It's all about you. It's all about what you feel, all about you getting your way, all about what you think matters. Is it all about you, that you can't hear anything that your partner dislikes about you, or a behavior they don't like about you because you get upset? If you instill those practices, you're not going to have a happy, healthy relationship or marriage. I can guarantee you. Remember, because you're together for 50 years, that doesn't mean you're happy or your partner's happy. Okay? So, what else are you doing to improve your listening skills? To be an active, present listener to one another? What are you doing to maintain or increase your patience level? And a lot of times, a lot of people look at, with the seriousness of life, right? How playful are you with one another, right? How often do you laugh with one another? And not only that, how often do you get one another about their moods and what they need? Remember about being present. Are you there for your partner? And remember, part of trust is also loyal to one another. Do you have each other's backs? Loyalty also means, right, you're not going to allow someone to disrespect your partner, regardless if it's your sister, your brother, your best friend. Oh, gulp, your mother, your father, grandmother, grandfather. You're not going to talk to my person this way. Grandma, I love you, but you're not going to be disrespectful. Mom, knock it off. Hey, I love you, but you're not going to talk to her that way. You get me? How many people feel their partner is loyal to them when it comes to this? So loyalty and trust and boundaries, they sort of intertwine with one another. Well, they do, not sort of. My apologies, okay? So I want you to put these in place and look at, yeah, people have those in-love feelings. But when they go, when they ebb and flow, when they come and go once in a while, throughout the relationship or marriage, what do? You get me? Does that mean that you don't or can't have a happy or healthy relationship or marriage? No, it doesn't. Do you want to, that deep love? These behaviors will increase the feelings of that love, okay? There's people that don't have sex maybe once a year. And people are like, that means they don't have a happy marriage or relationship. Yes, they do. That works for them. They're happy. For another person or couple, that wouldn't make them happy. So it's very subjective, but you have to look at what behaviors do you want from your partner to instill trust, loyalty, keeping boundaries in place, having patience, maybe a sense of humor, being able to laugh with one another, okay? I repeat, loyalty. When you start instilling those things, those are going to be huge at maintaining a solid, happy and healthy relationship or marriage, you people. So kick it up a little bit. Look at, what are you doing to instill those things in your relationship or marriage? What's your partner doing? And remember, what you might think works for you and what you need might be different than your partner. You need to talk about that. Remember? Expectations. You need to look at what boundaries do they have. They might have different boundaries than you. And what are you doing to initiate that conversation to put it in place so you know? What does loyalty look like? You get me? So talk about it. And I'm all about you progressing and evolving so you can have a happy, long-lasting relationship or marriage, people. And check me out. theartofrelationships.org is my website. It's down here in the banner or on other social media platforms where it's running live. Check out my profile. My website is in there, theartofrelationships.org. And I definitely would love it if you follow me, like me on YouTube, Instagram, all over social media, TikTok, Facebook. I appreciate it, and I want to help as many people out there get rid of heartbreak and to get to a healthier, happier sense of self and in a relationship or marriage if you so choose, okay? So peace and love to everybody out there. Everybody take care. Bye-bye.